It's a fluke of geology,
It's about 30 square miles of salt.
a barren wasteland devoid of life.
This is as far removed from reality as you can get.
But for 1 week a year, the Bonneville Salt Flats play host to the world.
For car guys, the salt is sort of mecca.
They've come from around the globe
We've come all the way from New Zealand and we've come out here into the Never Never Land.
with just one thing in mind.
I can legitimately say that I'm the world's best.
One more thing, check off the bucket list.
Good run, good run.
But it's not all fun and games.
No, I'm going big as other because I'm a mean mofo. You know, these are world records, they don't come easy, so we're starting to understand why.
But not everyone goes home with a smile.
Just drop there, shoot. It's my car in the container. Forget the record.
The Bonneville Salt Flats might look like a frozen lake, but it's a long way from the Canadian prairies. Despite the distance, the North of 49 racing team from Alberta, Canada, is feeling right at home.
1149, north of 49 Racing. You can go to impound.
Especially when word over the radio is they've qualified for a new world record.
It was something over 230. That's all I can say. I really don't know yet.
It's a great result, but they don't own the new record yet. At Bonneville, you have to prove you can do it twice.
We drag it out at 6:30 in the morning, right to here. And if we can go as faster, we'll have the record.
It means tomorrow will be an early morning, but a big opportunity for the Canadians. Speed Week is an epic event. It's run by an amateur racing club out of Southern California. This is the 64th year they've done it, and it's getting bigger and faster every year. For 7 days, land speed racers from around the planet take up residence in the middle of nowhere, building a temporary city in the desert near the Utah-Nevada border. This is where world records are set and dreams come true. It's called the Bonneville Salt Flats International Speedway. But there's no ticket booths, no grandstands, and no asphalt.
What was here 3 weeks ago was not one whole hell of a lot. It's about 30 square miles of salt. Geologically, this is a dry lake bed. If you get rain, it comes down off the mountains and pools here in the bottom every year during the winter. And it evaporates in the late spring and the early summer. And if you do that for 30 or 40 or 50,000 years, pretty soon you'll have a lake bed that's flat.
Mother Nature spent thousands of years creating the salt flats. A team of 200 volunteers only has a few days to set up everything else.
There will be 500 racers. I don't know, let's say an average of 2 or 3 or 4 people per crew. So that puts the population up at 2,000.
Spectators sitting under sunshades with binoculars in hand push that number to over 10,000 for the opening weekend. The Red Flame Grill serves 1,000 people a day.
We come out with 3 trailers, 2 broilers, and we take about 3 hours to set up, and then we're good to go.
All those people are also going to need toilets.
I'm the toilet guy.
If the Bonneville Speedway is a temporary city, then John Wennerberg is the head of the Department of Sanitation.
I am the guy who's in charge of the portable toilets. I don't have to clean them, thank you. They showed up yesterday with 70 toilets. Nobody knows exactly where to put them, except now that's my job. So I know to put 2 here and 4 of them over there and put 6 in a handicapper over there.
If you don't want to use one of the public porta potties, John will even rent you your own private toilet.
Hop in and take a ride.
It's all done so that the best drivers in the world get a chance to race whatever vehicle they brought, as fast as they can on the world's longest natural drag strip.
My name's Craig Gilbert. Our team is Kiwis Can Fly. We've come all the way from New Zealand and we've come with high hopes of breaking a couple of records.
The journey from Christchurch, New Zealand to the Utah desert is 7,500 miles. That's a long way for a used car salesman to come for a holiday.
Speed here. Don't worry about any of the stuff down the bottom.
Craig has packed a lot of luggage as well. A race car, a team of mechanics, and even an extra engine.
We brought a C5 Corvette over. We're going to be running 2 classes this time. So 2 drivers, we've got a team of 30 guys that have made the trip from New Zealand up to here, up to Utah. We're all living in RVs and we're soaking up the rays.
On course 2, car 588, Kiwis Can Fly, running on a 2:21 record.
The New Zealanders thought they could break 2 records, one with each engine. But the smaller one is having trouble performing in the thin desert air.
Speed at the 3 mile is 208.443, not good enough. Shy by about 13 miles an hour.
It's a harsh environment. The cars don't like the altitude up here. We find an 800 horsepower engine can come back to about 650 just because of the altitude. So, yeah, we're fighting everything. Yeah, we're fighting the elements, we're fighting the engines, and by the end of the week, we're fighting each other.
I'm from Standard, Alberta, which is about 70 miles east of Calgary. A little small town, about 400 people.
Ted Allen is the heart and soul of the North of 49 racing team. It's a group of Canadians that have been coming to the Salt for more than 10 years.
We were the first car in Alberta to run at Bonnyville. I'm the first person in Alberta to have a world record.
On day 1 of Speed Week, the team exceeded their own expectations.
We were taking it easy, actually. We short shifted first, second, got it in third, and it jumped out of third for some reason. I think I hit it with my leg.
The main course at Bonnyville is 5 miles long, so there's plenty of room to make up for early mistakes.
It was sort of a garbage run, but we were fortunate enough that it picked up enough speed to get to 239.
239 miles an hour is faster than the current record, but to establish a new record, Ted has to do it again this morning.
This one a little more or no?
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
It feels good.
Okay.
There's something else at stake this morning. Last year, Ted and his team set the record for this kind of car using regular gasoline. Today, they're running on what is called fuel, a category that allows you to put whatever liquid you want in your tank. If he can back up his qualifying time, he will be a double world record holder.
Where are you going?
That way.
How far?
Oh, 6?
I think it's just a all good. Watch the way you turn. Thank you, sir.
I don't think it'll be too bad.
Good information. All right.
Coming up on course 2, north of 49 Racing. Down here from Canada.
Ted's wife Diane drives the push truck that gets his dragster up to speed so he can put it in first gear. The average of his 2 runs is just over 241 miles an hour. That becomes the new record in the dragster fuel class.
Did he get a hat?
No.
Not this time.
No. Willie did.
Next time.
But by a quirk of timing, he's denied the title of a double record holder. Just minutes before Ted made his run, Willie, a German driver from California, beat his old mark in the gas class. Willie's run of 245.3 miles an hour isn't just another record. It puts him into a very exclusive club.
I've been coming here for almost 25 years, and finally, today seems to be the day where I'm going to make it into Bonneville 200 mile power club. People always think you have to just go 200 miles per hour. You have to set a record over 200.
And Willie's not content with just one world record. Now he's going after the mark Ted just set.
Now I'm going to change class and break his other record, because I'm a mean mofo. Mean American mofo. But he wants to come back into this class and break this record, so it's a lot of fun.
Right now, though, Ted isn't having a lot of fun. He's got a busted transmission.
Fix this one will be a problem. If you fix this will be a problem.
Yeah. Fix both.
Ted and his crew will have to work fast. Every day they're stuck in the pits is another opportunity for Willie and others to make a run at their record. John Wennerberg is the man in charge of the toilets, but he and his wife Nancy are also here to race.
It's a Kawasaki ZX14, a 2008 model, the first year they made that bike. It's got a 1352cc motor. It'll go 186 miles an hour.
And if you do a little work on it, it'll go a little faster.
Production class allows you to do anything you want out of sight. So you can't see the pistons. You can't see that this engine has been bored and stroked and has fancy camshafts and lots of headwork and so on. That's all legal. It's out of sight. The bike stock made about 165 horsepower. Now it makes more like 220 horsepower.
John knows plenty of tricks now, but 10 years ago, he was a wide-eyed rookie.
When I was ready to make my first run, the starter came over and he checked my leathers are all good and checked the helmet and everything and all those, and he said, "Okay, the course is yours, you're on." There were tears in my eyes. It was one of those, I did it. It was a really special moment, and it's a really common thing to do all my life. And here I am in the Olympics, the Super Bowl, the World Series, and I get to do it myself.
By any measurement, the Bonneville Salt Flats are remote. There's no street signs and no traffic lights. There is, however, a taxi cab.
We bought the taxi cab, which is a Ford Falcon car. It's an everyday family car in Australia, and we bought a Monaro, which is a classic car, and we bought a belly tank.
Norm Bradshaw leads a 3-car team from Melbourne, Australia. They brought everything in one shipping container.
We made the container up with ramps and put a 5-ton electric winch in there so we could winch them up. All together, we've got a group of people of 22, friends and guys that have just, want to be part of it.
It's a massive undertaking that will result in less than an hour of total time on the track.
A couple of passes a day for the 7 days. We're probably hoping for about 10 or 15 passes, I suppose.
That's why a mechanical breakdown that keeps one of the cars in the pits for even half a day is tough to stomach.
We've got a thrust race problem in the clutch, just not selecting gears and that. So we bought lots of spares and things, but it's the one you don't bring. But people here have helped us along the way. I think it's a hand-in-hand thing. If you race on the salt, people are just glad to see you there.
The Aussies have come to Bonneville because the dry lake bed they race on back home has flooded out the past 2 summers.
People come from all around the world to race here. People come to vacation and see this incredible natural phenomenon.
But the salt is disappearing.
This land that you're seeing right now used to be 5 and 8 feet thick. It's now measured in inches.
Industrial potash collection has been happening here for almost as long as there's been auto racing.
For many years, literally the last 60 years, there's been mining operations that have taken salt brine off the salt flats. What they do is the salt brine essentially comes from the aquifer and it goes into ditches. They then pump the salt brine from the ditches onto evaporation ponds where they take the potash.
The racers don't care about the potash, they just want their salt back. Through a program called Save the Salt, they've convinced the mining companies to return all the salt they remove back to the flats. It's a great start, but it's really just a holding pattern.
I'd like to see in the next 10 years having 3 feet more salt than we have today.
That would take a lot of money, something an amateur racing association doesn't have. It's a cause that has turned a bunch of petrol heads into environmentalists.
Quite frankly, when it comes to saving this national treasure, we're the only game in town. Nobody else cares.
With over 500 vehicles at Speed Week, the organizers need a way to separate them into classes. First, there's motorcycles and cars. The cars are divided up by body shape. There are lots of roadsters, dragsters, lakesters, coupes, and streamliners. Then there's fuel. Some teams use standard gasoline from the pump, while others burn their own unique mixture and run in the open fuel category. Finally, engines are classed according to size.
Do you actually know what you're doing, or do you want some supervision?
The Kiwis Can Fly team has come all the way from New Zealand with a plan to set 2 records in their production class Corvette by changing the engine mid-week. The first 2 days of racing have been done with a 5-liter engine, and it hasn't gone well.
Is that ready to come off, is it? I am, it's okay. Yep.
It's showing signs of possible head gasket gone. We're going to put the 6-litre back in the car now and try and get back on the track.
Putting in a larger engine will hopefully give the car more speed. The problem is, the record for the new class is even faster than the one they failed to break yesterday.
We need to do better than 2:30 for a class record, but we all know it's in the lap of the gods, so we can only try our best.
Les Triplets de Bonneville are also trying for multiple records. They've brought 4 vehicles with them from France.
We've been racing at Bonneville since 2008, and we currently hold 19 world-class records.
Today, they're a big operation, a crew of 18 with a full-sized shipping container. In the early days, there was only 4 of them and they had to think small.
So we said we have to race something small that we can transport in our luggage.
Their solution was unmistakably French. They brought a moped.
We built a sidecar, a moped with a sidecar, completely dismantled. We could transport it in 8 luggage, 2 by people, you know, the 23 kilo limit.
Their tiny bike was a huge success.
By swapping between sidecar, no sidecar, gasoline and fuel, we went back home with 4 class records at the end of the first week.
That first bike is still racing.
This small moped holds 7 class records. It should add 1 more tomorrow.
Their other bikes are a vintage Triumph and an assortment of home-built creations.
Have a good, safe ride.
None of the bikes the triplets ride are powerful, but because they're so light, they're fast. They also usually qualify in classes where no record exists.
On course 2, bike 865. Running against their own record. They went 43 miles an hour earlier this week. This run, at the 1 mile, 89.752. So you can put that number in the book now.
The triplets try to do something completely new every year. In 2010, they became the first team to set a record with a vehicle that runs on compressed air. This year, they've gone electric.
There are 1, 2, 2 and 2, so 6 batteries.
And there's a twist. They're making use of Bonneville's most abundant resource.
We have 20 square meters of solar system. The sun of Bonneville gives the energy for racing with this bike.
It's a solar-powered electric streamliner, something never seen before on the Salt. Essentially, it's a motorcycle and a bunch of batteries welded inside a metal frame and wrapped in aluminum. It's a head-turner, but not exactly a chick magnet.
It's not the glory, I'm sure of this. It doesn't impress ladies anymore.
Pour l'éternité.
I think maybe another strap would be a good idea.
John and Nancy Winterberg have been making the trek from Upper Michigan to the Utah desert for more than a decade.
Much better.
John is already a member of the 200-mile-an-hour club, having set a record on their Kawasaki ZX-14. This year, it's Nancy's turn to try and set a record, get into the club, and earn a red hat.
Production class requires us to use gas that we buy here. It's called event fuel. And that means we are running a gasoline that's approved. It has no additives that would give an extra power advantage. It's a lot fancier gasoline. Smells good. It smells like race gas ought to smell. So the exhaust is even nice smelling.
But it doesn't come cheap.
It's $12 a gallon. Okay.
At full throttle, going 200 miles an hour, their bike gets just 7.5 miles to the gallon.
Well, there's 5 gallons. I'll quit there. That ought to do it.
Once the tank is full, it's sealed with tape and nail polish to ensure they don't sneak anything in to get a little extra oomph. With the tank full, Nancy is ready to make a run at the record John set last year.
How many kids can say, oh yeah, Grandma and Grandpa hold world speed records over 200 miles an hour on a motorcycle? Damn few people can say something like that. And so there is reason enough, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
It's also dangerous.
It was over with in 2 seconds. I didn't have a whole lot of time to be trying to correct myself.
Nancy spun out 20 feet from the start line.
Okay, I'm gonna pull this helmet off. So. Okay, we're gonna work together.
She has a broken collarbone and 2 cracked ribs.
Everybody ready? Okay, we're gonna roll on our left. 1, 2, 3. Check her back.
The cause of the accident can be traced all the way back to Michigan.
While we were packing, I couldn't find my gloves. And I says, hey, I'll wear John's gloves. Put them on and they're an extra large. So in that critical stage, when you're trying to balance your clutch and your throttle, coming off of the line with a really high power engine, you really need to feel the controls and be one with the bike.
The crash has the 52-year-old grandmother rethinking her choice of hobbies.
When you're out here with all these other racers, getting another record or getting the red hat is all that really matters to you. But once you go home and you're back to average Joe, it's like, what the hell am I doing this for? Why does it matter so much? Out here at Bonneville, it has nothing to do with reality. This is as far removed from reality as you can get. During the wintertime when we're sitting at home, it's like, tell me again, where are we going? Why are we doing this?
Why are we spending the entire retirement account? Again, because...
Wait, you didn't tell me it was all of it.
Yeah, well, oh, shit, busted.
Speed Week, as the name suggests, is only 7 days long. That's not much time when you've come all the way from the other side of the world. Today is day 4, and the New Zealand team, Kiwis Can Fly, is struggling badly.
I missed my turn off road and went through a bit of rough country and damaged some of the spoiler, but the guys have fixed it and we're good to go again.
They've replaced their engine and changed drivers, but they're no closer to a land speed record than they were when they left home.
We didn't go that fast that time because we were just tuning, but this time, as long as I don't get any warning lights, we're going to put the pedal to the metal and see what we can do.
On course 2, car 1588, Kiwis Can Fly, running on a record of 2:30. The driver is Craig Gilbert. At the 1 mile, he's 2:21. 2 mile is 2:29. And the 3rd mile, 2:30.747. That qualifies just barely. The team from New Zealand is headed to impound.
It sounds like a great run, but when Craig's team finally catches up to him, he's 8 miles away, parked in the rough.
I pulled my chute and it pulled the car up, then broke off because it melted on the exhaust system, which is very unusual. Then the car got into a massive lot of tank slappers and I just had to try and keep it together and didn't try and stop too quick, and we've come out here into the Never Never Land.
Despite the parachute troubles, Craig has beat the record by 1 mile an hour.
It's only one, but we'll take it. Thank you very much, everybody. We've got 4 hours to service the car and extra time to make the car safe with the parachute, which is really good.
If they can do all that and then make a run of equal or better speed tomorrow morning, they'll be record holders. Impound is where you take your car when you qualify to set a record. It's the place everyone wants to be.
I will give you this. This is your stop time. You have 4 hours to work on your vehicle.
The Kiwis have a lot of work to do to get ready for tomorrow's backup run, refilling the fuel tank and scraping off the salt plastered to the underside. The most important job is figuring out a way to keep their parachute strap from being burnt off by the hot exhaust. One of the inspectors, a fellow New Zealander, has the solution.
It's aluminum on one side, ceramic composite in the middle, stainless steel on the other. It's fairly thick, about that thick. There's no way in hell that's going to burn through that.
For 1 week only, they can buy a part like that right here in the middle of the desert. In fact, you can buy just about anything you might need in the temporary shopping plaza that pops up beside the temporary gas station. The most popular items are big floppy straw hats and really good sunglasses.
The sun is intense. The sun is so intense that we tell new people this, and they always think we're teasing, to bring not only a hat to cover your ears and back of your neck, and not only be ready to wear a shirt and have lots of sunscreen with you, but to put the sunscreen in places you wouldn't think, because you're walking around on a white surface. So you put the sunscreen here, so you don't get burned there, and here, and here. And yes, you put the sunscreen on your private parts, because if you're wearing loose shorts, the sun will reflect, and that really hurts. And it happens. It sounds silly, but it really will happen, so be careful.
Ted Allen and the North of 49 racing team have had a busy week so far. They set a record in the open fuel class, but they saw their record from last year in the gas class get broken by Crazy Willie. Then their transmission failed. Today, things are looking up.
Now what we'll do is we're going to change classes and change over to the gas class, and then see if we can shoot for another record.
Word around the pits is that Willie has been sidelined by mechanical troubles. So the Canadians have the track to themselves.
On course 1, we have car 1149. Driver is Ted Allen. He's running on a record of 246. At the 1 mile, 212. At the 2, 238. And at the 3, 251. That qualifies. You can take that car to impound.
Which means Ted will make a run on the final morning of Speed Week. All around the pits, the signs are clear.
Well, that's basically it. 422's in the trailer, ready to go home.
Teams are packing up their trailers for the journey home. Les Triplettes de Bonneville are heading back to France with 3 new records.
Seems to be going well. Straight on, despite the wind.
Okay.
Go, let's go get it.
Including one for reaching 98 miles an hour in their electric Streamliner. Some teams have even further to go.
We put all our spares and our toolboxes in underneath. The boys have done a really good job on it.
The Australians are loading 3 cars into their container to be shipped across the Pacific. It's a big and expensive operation, but it's been a successful week.
On course 1, car 2951. Blown gas coupe. It's more like a taxi cab to me. Record is 270. First mile, 167. 42nd mile, 203.983. Not good enough. Good run nonetheless for driver Norm Bradshaw and the boys from Down Under.
We've had plenty of fun. We set a target if we could get into the 200 mile an hour. So all three cars are into that, so we're pretty excited. You've got to be happy with that, coming all the way from Australia to here, and so it's good. So we're excited.
The Aussies are heading home, but drivers that qualified for a record today, like Ted Allen and Craig Gilbert, will stick around one more night to make a backup run and hopefully set a world record. It's an early morning in the impound yard, the final day of Speed Week. 47 cars qualified yesterday. Today, one by one, they will try to back up those results.
I'll take the average of the 2 runs, and if that's a world record, you get a record. And if not, you don't.
Craig Gilbert's Kiwis Can Fly team is one of those qualifiers. Yesterday, he drove his Corvette 231 miles an hour, but burnt off his parachute. Today, he's got a new chute, and he's ready to make his backup run.
We've come a long way. At the end of the day, it's still an amateur sport. It's in the lap of the gods. If it's your turn, it's your turn. If not, well, you come back next time. Like, we've been talking to people that have been coming here 20 years and never had a record. So if we can do it in 2 years, we're legends.
Now on course 2, car 1588. Driver Craig Gilbert is chasing a record of 230.545. His qualifying run was 231, so not much margin for error here. At the 3 mile, he's got 221. At the 4, 228. This is the mile he needs. Speed at the 5 mile, 230.478. That's going to be very close when they average it out.
Apparently wasn't good enough. About 0.5 a mile an hour away of backing up, so a little disappointed, but it is what it is.
The New Zealanders have come a long way, but they've come up short by the slimmest of margins.
Hey, you know, these are world records, so they don't come easy, so and we're starting to understand why.
Craig's crew are great mechanics. They did a fabulous job at getting his car ready to race. But they are not quite as adept at doing math.
Well, we think we've broken a record, they think now, because it was an average of the 2 runs. So we'll go back and see what the officials have to say. So nothing's done till the fat lady sings, okay? So we'll let you know.
Speeds are calculated to the 3rd decimal place, and upon closer examination, the average of Craig's 2 runs set a new record by less than 7/100ths of a mile an hour. The car went fast enough, so the question now becomes, does it qualify as a stock Corvette?
We can go up to 46.5 and we'll be fine.
Can I just want to make sure that
The inspectors measure the engine's capacity.
So they just pump the engine to check for cubic capacity, and that's fine. So we're a little concerned about our radiator.
The Kiwi team put in a larger radiator for more cooling. The new size is not a problem.
Lee Kennedy is coming over. Yep. He's ahead.
But the location is raising some concerns.
not in the original locations.
Yep, and where would you say a radiator on a Corvette is originally? Front of the motor. It's on the original mounts.
So these are the original.
We've tried to do everything we can
Okay.
to fit that.
The problem is, the new radiator is mounted on an angle. The original was vertical.
We've got some photos, and it appears to be much more straight up and down in that configuration.
Whatever the decision is, we've got to go with it, and if we've done something wrong, we have to put it right the next time.
The decision will be made back in the pits.
So the way we work it is that we ask the competitors in the class to police their class, because no one knows it better than the people that run it. So here we've got a competitor, which was, I think, the last holder of the record, who has identified an issue with the vehicle and has put in a protest.
The rulebook says the radiator must be in the original location. It doesn't say anything about position or orientation.
I know we're playing with words, but we're in the Wendover location. We're not all standing in the same position. You know, the radiator is in the original location, in the front of the car, in front of the engine, and that's our argument. And we think that's quite legitimate. I think the box is a little loose, right?
Well, yeah. What happens at this point is the GT Modified Sports Committee makes a recommendation to the board of whether to accept the protest or deny the protest, right? And then obviously you can respond anywhere in that. Okay.
By then, Craig and his crew will be home, on the other side of the world, and unable to argue their case. Eventually, the owner of the Corvette steps in.
We're amateurs. Just drop their chute. It's my car in the container. Forget the record.
For Craig, it's a heartbreaking end to a very difficult week.
It has no value if it's an easy record. You know, we could come here in a lesser car or a small pickup truck and get that record, you know, real easy. But it means nothing to us. You know, it might mean something to someone else, but to us, unless it's a fight, unless it's a battle, it's not deserving. You know, there's other places to run in the world, you know, as far as land speed racing. But I just think Bonneville has this prestige. It's a passionate place, and it's full of passionate racers doing their thing.
It's early morning on the last day of Speed Week. Ted Allen, a 10-year veteran, is getting ready for the biggest run of his racing career.
I've been chasing the 200-mile-an-hour club since 2003. I've gone over 200 miles an hour many, many times and still can't join.
Joining the 200-mile-an-hour club is the most prestigious recognition a land speed racer can attain. There's no trophy, just a simple red baseball cap. But there's nothing simple about gaining membership.
The original rules were you had to break a record over 200 miles an hour. When they brought back the rear engine class, which we're running in, they made some stipulations for it. You had to break a record over 245 miles an hour in order to join the club. So we're hoping that this run will get us into that club.
It's taken him a decade to get to this point, and he's had a lot of help along the way. Most notably from his friend and mentor, Don Seward.
He went 210 miles an hour when he was 74, which is pretty darn cool.
Don's car carried a license plate that read Fawfit.
Fawfit stands for the fastest old fart in town. So Don's riding along with me. Don passed away this spring from cancer. So we thought it was fitting that Don ride along in the car. We're not supposed to do it, but yesterday on our 251 mile an hour run, We put some of Don's ashes in the parachute and we let it go at 250 miles an hour. So just a salute to Don.
We have a record backup run on course 1, north of 49 Racing, trying to back up a 251 run from yesterday. At 1 mile, 224. 2 mile is 240. 3 mile, this is the one he needs. 249.554. That should do it. A new record for Ted Allen in the north of 49 Racing team.
It's everything Ted could hope for.
Good run, good run. 249. That'll do. That gives us about a 240, just about 250 record. So, good. I gotta catch that now.
It takes a while to sink in, but Ted suddenly realizes what he's accomplished.
I'm a member of the freaking club. Didn't think about that for a minute. Yeah. Oh. Well, I went 200 the first time in 03. So, a hell of a long time. You know? That's a long time coming. One more thing, check off the bucket list.
Do you know?
Oh.
Congratulations.
A record and a red hat.
Ted's car has set records before, so no inspection is needed. All that's left is to fill out the paperwork and get his new hat.
Ted is a president of the Bonneville 200 Mile an Hour Club. It's my honor and privilege to have you join our membership.
Oh, thank you very much. I've been a long time coming.
Yeah, this is a hard one to get. Took me 41 years to get
41!
mine.
It's been a long road for the retired mechanic from Alberta, but he's now recognized as one of the fastest racers in the world.
Oh yeah. Don't worry. See, the first one's coming extra large so they fit the head.
Hard fought battle, but victory at the end.
Oh, thanks, buddy. Good job. Thank you. Appreciate your hand. Congratulations. And thank you to all those guys right here. The crew.
Congratulations. Nice hat.
It's a storybook ending to an emotional week.
Oh, wow. Honey, you're crying. Yes, they're punch through the nose.
Oh. But you don't get to see this every day.
After the last car has roared down the course, and all the records are recorded. After the vehicles are loaded, the tents taken down, and the thousands of orange cones are all picked up, the Salt Flats are left pretty much the same way they have been for 10,000 years. Empty, flat, and lifeless. Just waiting for next year, when once again, the world will come to Bonneville.